Boom. 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 Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. My camera setting's a lot better now. I think. Is the quality of my camera better? I think we figured it out. The lighting's better. It's not as fuzzy. John, are you out there? Are you out there in the world? Wurm. Wurm online. Let me go into the Discord real quick. I'm live. Say at Buzo. Got it. I'm live. Okay. I'll just assume you're out there. Somewhere out there. Alright, Josh Strive Hayes does these videos. I've watched a bunch of them. They're great. He's great. Like and subscribe his content. So I've never done a react to him. What's up, Jamal? I haven't played Clash of Clans in a long time. A long time. What's up, Jamal? Someone's trying to find out how to play this game. No way you have a camera now. Late, happy 1K, by the way. I've been very busy at school, so I haven't been here a while. Yeah, I do have a camera. This is it. This is me. That's the cover. That's the cover of the video. This right here. Yeah, so I'm checking this out. Been very busy at school, so I haven't been here. Yeah, we're going to check this out. This is just a reaction. Now that I have a camera, I can do reaction videos. So this is my reaction to Joff Stripes Hayes Wurm Worst MMO Ever. It's for John. We'll get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Survival love. This is the epic tale of one man's attempt to build a shed, punch a wolf in the face, and then kiss a stranger for an achievement, while also finding time to ride a donkey and
oh my god!
Animation.
Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. Can I turn up this setting a bit? Oh yeah, let's get that Teddy and EP in there. There we go. Crystal clear. How bad that animation is.
This side of Barbie Race and Ride. This is the tale of my adventure
Barbie Race and Ride.
in Wurm Online.
Right through the table.
If you've ever wondered what a massive fantasy sandbox MMO created by Notch, the guy behind Minecraft, would look like, look no further. This is it. And my god, is it complicated.
No problem, John. Welcome. We just got started 30 seconds ago. Got that high quality.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes, and this is Worst MMO Ever, a series where I play every MMO I can in a journey to find the worst. Drop a like on the video or sub to the channel for more MMO stuff. Ring the bell for all the future notifications. As usual, a massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch. Woo! More info on this at the end. For now, let's begin.
He deserves every one of those.
Wurm Online, the self-proclaimed ultimate sandbox MMO, and indeed one of the earliest sandbox games, releasing all the way back in 2006. It has stood the test of time and is now available on Steam. So let's give it a go. It's only a 2 gig download, so don't be expecting 4K textures or complex storylines. The game starts immediately and wow, okay, I'm already feeling very early 2000s freeware garish texture packs. You start in first person. To zoom out, you must hold left click while scrolling the mouse wheel backwards. and this is the first example of something being more complex than it needs to be. Nice.
I'm the king of that. I'm the king of controls. You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me when things aren't gonna work like that.
Simple tutorial, WASD movement, no jumping and no running. You'll always move at maximum speed for the terrain you are on. Now there's no character creation, but we are told we have a magical golden mirror in our inventory, and we can use that to change our appearance, but only once. The inventory itself is a nice simple list layout with all items having quality, damage taken, and weight easily displayed. When walking up a steep hill, you need to press Z to switch to climb mode. And in climb mode,
He's British. He's British. He just said Z instead of Z. They say Z over there.
you'll move slower, but make it up slopes, and this is a perfect example of the inner complexity of Wurm Online. Playing this game feels more like running a complex machine and less like exploring an adventure game. It's all about switching things on and off, modes, activating items at the right moment, and this overly complex design is at odds with the no-fail state paradox of complexity, which I'll expand on later. Ultimately, you can do a lot in Wurm Online, but you need to make sure every single dial is reading the...
Took me a long time to start saying Z instead of Z. Oh, really? Z. 0 instead of O. What is it? Boys instead of mate. What is it? Pint instead of beer. Flat. You guys, it's flat instead of... What is it? It's flat instead of apartment. Lots of stuff over different. Chips instead of biscuits. Fries.
Correct thing before you do it. In our inventory we have a shovel. Activate it by double clicking on it. You can have one object activated at any time, and your context when interacting with the game will change based on whatever you've got active. When it's the shovel, you can dig. You'll see the game world is divided into tiles highlighted as you cursor over them. Wurm Online prides itself as being a do-anything game, and that includes terraforming the land. You can dig holes,
boot instead of trunk,
even entire mine shafts, and then dump the dirt.
Used to say Zay instead of Z. Hood instead of bonnet. Bird. Let's go talk some instead of a girl, like, oh, she's a nice bird.
That you've dug elsewhere. Now it takes an absolute age to do, and the change is very small, but you can do it. To chop a tree, you don't just click on the tree. That'd be too simple. You need to deactivate your shovel, activate your hatchet, then right-click on the tile the tree is on, and then click chop. And you'll see the action timer to the bottom right. Sometimes one action isn't enough to get the result, and you won't automatically repeat actions.
This seems
you
complex.
need to manually click to do it again. Wurm Online is really into the whole make the player repeat actions for the sake of repeating actions school of design. After about a minute, the tree is felled, so we now take the log and you move super slowly. Your movement speed is based on how much you are carrying and what surface you're walking on. You can run on paths or going downhill, but once on grass or going uphill, you forget how your legs work and slow to a gentle stroll. I go to drop something on the ground and get a warning box, and now the first lazy bit of design. Text overflowing the box boundaries. Come on, designers. Complex systems may make...
No, this is not good. That's not good right there.
Your game feel bloated, but it's still high quality. But bad visual design, bad layout, that makes it look amateur. Can you steal this sign? No. Well, there go my dreams of being a sign-hoarding baron. And now the combat tutorial. Behold, as I can't find anyone. What? This is the right place. Big sign, combat, sparring grounds, weapon on the floor. There's no one here. Is it lunchtime? Is the combat instructor on break? You know what? I'll skip the combat tutorial. I've played an MMO or two before. I'm sure I can figure it out. How complex can combat really be?
2 hours
later. What the hell? Why is combat so complicated? What is this thing? What do the buttons mean? Why did I skip the tutorial? Okay, we seem to be at the end of the intro section. That wasn't a bad little tutorial. It's given me the basics. Is there anything I've missed? Oh, fishing. Okay. Are you going to let me fish? No, you're going to give me a massive text dump. Right. It's almost like you started designing an interactive tutorial to let the player actually experience the systems they'd need to know,
That's not good. These are not good. This game seems like that's got a lot of.
Then you
It's kind of like RuneScape, where you don't know what that. Everything's so complicated, but RuneScape has an amazing tutorial. It really does take you through every single aspect.
realised your game was quite complicated and a tutorial might be quite long, so you gave up and wrote a book instead. Well, points for trying, I suppose. Reach the end of the intro section, take this portal to one of the main land masses, and off we go. Wurm Online is a sandbox game, which means no plot, no quests, no direction, just here's a big open world with vast potential, go and build a life. So I will approach this in the same way I approach all new experiences in life. I will cover myself head to toe in leather, and then hope for the best. First of all, where am I? You have a compass to the top right, but you need to stand still for 16 actual seconds for it to stop spinning and actually show you a direction. If you play Wurm Online, please be prepared for an extremely slow game. But direction is useless without a map, and thankfully we do have a map, but it doesn't show the player position. It's just a map of the land.
That's kind of like a
NPC
silk song.
towns labelled and nothing else. So if you explore Wurm Online and get lost, you need to navigate by standing still, waiting for the compass, and then just looking at the local landmarks or trying to map via the
Oh, it's just a
stars.
map.
As for player skills, you've got loads. Over 100 different tracked stats, from your strength to your digging to your forestry to your cooking to your skill with a yo-yo, and I'm not making that up. Wurm Online.
That's not true. I'm going back to that.
Stats, from your strength to your digging to your forestry to your cooking to your skill with a yo-yo.
Oh my god. Yo-yo. You guys remember yo-yos? You remember the time where yo-yos were a big thing? The ones that would go all the way down and they would stay there, come back up, they would light up yo-yos. There was a time, I don't know, elementary, middle school, there was a time where yo-yos were a thing. You would just, everybody had yo-yos. Do that. Do some of that. This game has everything. When they say they have everything, they have everything. RuneScape has no yo-yos. There are no yo-yos in
And
RuneScape.
I'm not making that up. Wurm Online is a very deep, stat-focused survival game. You want to see how deep?
Yo-yos.
Cursor over your profile picture to the top left, and you'll see how much health you've got, how much water you've drank, your current calorie intake, and then a breakdown of your macronutrients, carbohydrates,
Get the hell out of
proteins,
here.
and fats. So while you're surviving in this brutal medieval world, make sure you keep MyFitnessPal up to date.
My
Wurm
God.
Online is very much a
Calories.
game where the designer did not stop writing the design document, even though they really should have done, and then just added in everything they came up with. I use this magic portal, choose the newest landmass of Cadence, and then start in the town of Sonata, and off we go. First thing I notice, the background music. It's nice.
Metabolism in an
Sometimes
RPG game
it
is
just
crazy.
stops for
That's
seemingly
right.
no reason at all.
Oh my god, they're going up a hill. Metabolism. We need to sleep. Is sleep, I swear. Do you have to sleep? This is amazing. Great music choice. Shout out to Hayes. Oh, okay. That's a strange way to walk. Why is he moving so slow?
In sandbox games, you are thrown into a big open world with no real direction, and this puts players off because that's not novel anymore. That's no longer a new experience. We've had that. But look, in Wurm Online, you do have a journal. And in that journal, not quests, but suggested actions. This is brilliant. It's not much, but I'll take it. This small addition is the start of an adventure line, and that gives players like me guidance, a goal. You'll find that players stick around much
Yeah, the
longer
climbing
when
feature
they
is
are
weird.
given a reason to, even the loosest sense of direction to follow. First up, cut some trees down. Okay, but not these trees because they are on
Easily once you figure it out.
deeds, and that isn't allowed. Wurm Online has a consistent world players can claim plots of land on and then build on and exist in. And remember, this was made back in 2006.
Oh.
That was really impressive back then. 3 tries later, the tree...
Oh my god, you actually see the tree go down.
When it does, and the trunk is too large to carry, so you have to cut it up into smaller bits. That's a really nice gameplay touch. Wurm Online may be convoluted to the point of excess, but some of its decisions do make logical sense. And as I cut down the trees, I keep being reminded I'm working toward a Steam achievement of cutting down trees. So let's see what Steam achievements I've got. Right,
oh my god.
There is an achievement for finishing the tutorial, the 20-minute linear section you get guided through. How many people do you think have this? 10%. Over 90% of Steam players quit before finishing the tutorial.
Oh
now,
my
I keep
god.
going on and on about the importance of a solid, catchy and fun opening section, and this is the perfect example of why.
Yep.
A 90% player loss in the first 20 minutes should not be an acceptable metric. I wonder what some of the rarer achievements are. Kiss someone. Held by less than 1% of players. So if I could do that, I'd be in the top 1% of Wurm Online Steam players. Okay, that is my goal. I'm going to build a house, fight a wolf, and then kiss a stranger. That sounds like a good night out to me. I ask in the global chat, hey, anyone want a kiss? And I get told I'm in the wrong chat. Right, this might be harder than I thought it would be. The global chat is interesting though. They are discussing horse breeding. Thankfully, it's in the game. Wurm Online has various animals and you can force them to mate, and there's just a bunch of genetic traits they can pass on. You can selectively breed to find the fastest horse, or the milkiest cow, or the fightiest donkey. The Wurm Wiki on animal husbandry is a rollercoaster.
This game is
emotions.
insane.
When you read, inbreeding will cause the max point value to divide by 1.5, or neither animal should be hungry before mating, you know these designers took this system very, very seriously. Next journal task, flatten a tile. To do this, you must activate your shovel, stand on a tile, right-click and choose flatten. But you can't flatten a tile if it's too wonky, because your digging skill isn't good enough. And you can't flatten a tile somebody else owns. And you can't flatten a tile with a tree on it, or a tile on a road, or a tile near a road.
But this is genuinely impressive for a game that's from 2006. The mechanics are so deep. Oh yeah, it is the guy who made Minecraft.
Or a tile that one day might want to become a road. So basically you have to walk into the wilderness until you find an almost already flat tile and then make it actually flat. But sometimes then you'll still get told no, because your flatten skill isn't good enough. I try for 15 minutes to flatten any tile.
Oh my god, that's way too long.
I remove grass, I flatten edge by edge, and it just will not do it. I even employ the ancient and powerful digging technique of sticking the entire spade straight through my leg, and still nothing. Okay, fine. Let's skip the flatten tile bit. What's next? Make a mallet. That's basically it. Create a mallet. I mean, how deep does this go? Do I need to grow a tree,
that walk
steal a
mechanic's
knife?
not
What are
great.
the steps? And this is where the wiki comes in. Now, thankfully, you can right-click basically anything and open the wiki page directly from the game. And that's a lovely touch. Now, I still feel that it's a band-aid on the growing problem of complex systems not being covered through emergent gameplay, so you rely on a wiki, but it is a temporary fix for now. If you're a new player, Wurm Online is basically a wiki game. You need the wiki open as you play. There is simply no way to get all the information you will need without it. So here are the steps to make a basic mallet. 1. Activate your hatchet. Repeatedly interact with a tree until it's cut down. This might take a few minutes. 2. Chop up the felled trunk into smaller logs. This will also take a few minutes. 3. Pick up the smaller logs. 4. Deactivate your hatchet. Activate your carving knife. 5. Right-click on the log in your inventory. Then go to Create. And out of the 10 possible choices, choose Construction Material and then Shaft. The 100% make chance means this is guaranteed. You'll need a minimum weight of log to carve a shaft out of.
Wait, what? I've sunk 600 hours into this game and don't even have a fraction of the skills at level 30. 600 hours. 600 hours? John, when does this game become fun? It seems even more complex than RuneScape. Way more complex. There's no pictures. I'm not seeing pictures. I'm seeing straight up Windows desktop.
Have enough log, just chop more. 6. Make 2 shafts. 7. Now right-click on one of the shafts and go to Create, then Tool Parts, then Mallet Head. And this has a less than 100% chance, so if you fail, just try again. And 8. Deactivate the carving knife and double-click on the mallet head, so that is now your active selected item. Now, right-click on the shaft and choose Create, then Tools, then Mallet.
Straight away, it becomes fun, haha, for me, but it isn't for everyone. Yeah, that's an understatement.
And you can fail this process, which means you'll need to just try again. But remember, the shaft you use must weigh more than 1 kilogram or the mallet head won't attach. If your shaft is too small, just wait until you have bigger wood and try again. Grow up. You'll also notice that the Create option
That was awesome. He knew what he was doing. In my mind, I was like, that's a phrasing. Ever seen Archer? Phrasing. This is the type of game you play for half your life, which is some kind of good because some games lose the points or goals after completing. Yeah, this is a commitment. That was funny.
when you right-click on any raw material change based on the item you have activated.
Grow up.
Whether that's a saw or a carving knife or a hatchet. Now please tell me, how is any new player meant to work this out without a wiki? You know, it seems like the perfect thing to put in a tutorial, but no, it's just a figure-it-out game. The learning curve of Wurm Online is just a straight line. Wurm is a game about micromanagement. It's not enough to simply have a hatchet or a knife on you. You must manually
He's so funny and a nice guy too, yeah.
tree without activating the hatchet, and the game just says, I don't know, what are you trying to do? Nope, not sure what you want there. But when you activate the hatchet and click the tree, it says, oh, you want to chop the tree down, of course, why didn't you say so? It's a game about forcing the player to manage the absolute minutiae of every interaction.
Oh, minutia is not a good name to use, word to use in a game.
Detail gives the game depth. Armed with our new mallet, we now need some iron nails, so this will probably need iron ore.
I love that map, though.
No, it does not show
not getting around
resources.
it, but the fact that it's just a pure iron map.
Iron is likely found in a mine, and that's probably in a cave. So while I look for a resource map online, I find this community-created map, which lists all of the player-created towns and villages, and it's great to see stuff like this because it captures that feeling that old-school forums used to have. Not huge, but connected. And I suppose that's what Wurm Online really is. It's a slower-paced, niche community game, where the smaller player base means deeper connections between the people who are actually playing. The main issue with the insular communities
Those all little built cities
to promote is they are super convoluted for new players to get into. And sometimes older, more hardcore games actually pride themselves on being hard to understand, because the process of understanding is part of the game itself, and the prestige of the knowledge of understanding is the reward for playing the game. We could analyse the sociological and psychological implications of a system being complex simply to reward understanding of that system itself.
He
but
fell.
hey, look,
Oh.
swimming animations. That's how you know this isn't New World. Ah, yes, the traditional beach pumpkin. Always a sign of good luck. Once you've picked it up, you can wrap the pumpkin. Oh, thank God, you really did think of everything. The amount of times I've wished I could wrap my pumpkin in MMO games. Find a cave, but this is copper, not iron. So back to...
Oh,
look,
famous.
there's a shop. I wonder what they sell.
Okay.
Monthly membership. Well, it seems fair. Premium membership lets you raise your skills above 20, and buying any level of membership will, as it says, prevent your character being deleted after 90 days of inactivity. God damn, Wurm Online, are you expecting such a constant and endless surge of players you need to wipe people's accounts after 3 months of not being on? The search for iron continues. One of the issues is iron is likely in a cave, and caves are probably by mountains, but you are heavily discouraged from leaving the main path, because on the path you can run and in the woods you walk slowly. It's ironic because it's an exploration game that feels like it's penalising you for actually exploring. This donkey is looking at me funny, so this is probably a good time to try out some combat. I right-click, choose target, and then attack, and what on earth is this? What is this button grid combat mini-game? Right, so combat has an absolute load of variables. Your focus can be at one of 6 possible levels. Higher focus in the fight increases your hit and block rate. But you also have a stance check, how far away from the enemy you are based on your weapon's range, and how stable your footing is based on the slope of the land you are fighting on and the direction you are facing. And then this little button where you can choose...
Did you play this before or after you played RuneScape? What was the learning curve on this game?
Which direction you're going to attack from, and then which you're going to try and block incoming attacks from. And there are 6 fighting sub-skills and loads of armor types and weapon types and shield types, and then 3 body skills: control, strength, and stamina. And after being hit, you will move slower. And there are flanking bonuses for attacking from the side. And if you have the high ground, you actually do have an advantage. This combat system is the perfect example of over-designed and under-involved. There are hundreds
Deep learning
of
curve,
potential
but after
variables in
RuneScape.
even the
Okay.
most basic encounter. You can level up and control almost everything about the fight behind the scenes, and yet as a player, all I see is angry donkey.
Game is like walking to a business meeting wearing pajamas.
Happening right now, but none of them feel like they're affecting me. Sometimes giving the player fewer options, but having the results of those choices be very obvious, is more.
There's also focus on mechanics that make it more complicated. Oh my god.
Inputs. After slapping this ass around, again, grow up, I find a magical hidden cave. Look, it just randomly appears as I get closer.
Oh.
Magic? Stealth? I don't know. But there's iron in here, so we're one step closer to nails. There's also a furnace, but how do I start this? Is it plugged in? Is there an on button? To the wiki. Right, I need to activate my steel and flint in my inventory, and then have some kindling on me. And that means I need to go and chop a tree down, and then activate my knife, file the logs into kindling, and then activate the flint again, and then interact with the furnace and choose light. And once it's on, how do I melt the ore? Do I just use the furnace as a storage box, stick the ore in and wait? Well, the item description of the ore while doing this does seem to be getting hotter, so I guess, yes, we just wait. Wait about 5 minutes and the ore melts into pure iron, and now I can interact with the anvil which is next to me, which brings up yet another different crafting menu. Could you please have some design consistency in your menu layouts? This menu has 2 inputs. One of them is the anvil. The other, I assume, should be the iron ball, so I drag that over. And then there's a search menu for known recipes, so I find iron nails and get crafting. There's also a queue up system for planned inputs, and it says you can queue up more actions with higher mind logic. So if you're role-playing as Spock, you'll be great at this. Right, I've made a mallet, and now I've made a nail. Next task in my journal.
This is complicated in RuneScape too.
Right, I can't help but feel we've missed a few steps here in the building order, but okay, let's do this. To plan a house, we need to activate the mallet, find some perfectly flat ground, and right-click plan. And as we already know, my flattening skill is terrible, so I just walk around until I find some already flat land. I try to make a house, and I am not skilled enough. I need higher carpentry. Okay, how do I level carpentry? Wurmpedia says make planks. This means activate the hatchet, fell the trees, get the logs, then activate the saw and process the logs into planks. And remember, every action you do in this game takes stamina. The green bar to the top left.
Oh, wow.
Low stamina means actions will take longer, so you do not want to start an action while you have low stamina. So there is a lot of waiting between stuff happening for your stamina to refill. So while I'm absolutely power leveling carpentry, let's just have a read of some reviews. Wurm Online may be slower than Continental Drift, but it has an incredible scope for those players willing to embrace its opportunities. That's from PC Gamer. Imagine you're booting up Minecraft, but it's a private server and everything has been claimed built on by the previous players. This is that. You can walk for an hour in any direction and every inch is already scoured by players. There is no wildlife. There is massively acres of recently sprouted trees. There is only idle NPCs and logged out players. This should not be an open server MMO. I would say go play Wurm Unlimited, since that's the way you would host your own server, but just read those reviews. You need to get into this right at the start. It was first come, first serve. You aren't first, and you won't be served.
Oh.
Fun MMORPG. Good community, at least on my server. Lots of people willing to help.
How is it so realistic and so unrealistic at the same time?
new players. I enjoy the constructing part and skill development, but there is combat, no real quest system. It is truly an open sandbox. Let's be clear, Wurm is not for everyone. It's an old MMO with a lot of odd ideas that are completely contrary to modern MMO expectations. That said, there's a definite charm to the game. Once you get past the steep learning curve and the immense grinding necessary to get anything done. This game has corpse runs. If you die, most of your belongings will get left where you were killed, and you have to go back there to retrieve all the stuff. Most newbie equipment is immune from that, but not all newbie equipment. You can get your ass kicked from almost anything in the game at the start. Even a fierce feral cat, yes, kitties, can be a life-threatening encounter. I'd call this more of a simulation of living, having a chilled second life in a 2000-era RPG game. It will take hours to get the basic resources for your land. It will take days to build your basic home. It will take weeks to shape your deed. It will take months to shape the land around you. It will take years to master the game. It will take you decades to master the multiple, vast lands of Wurm.
Oh my god. Let's go back to that. It will take hours to get the basic resources, days to build a basic home, weeks to shape your deed, months to shape the land, years to master the game, and decades to master. Whoa. 600 hours was light work, apparently. Oh, that's heavy.
Second life in a 2000-era RPG game.
I thought RuneScape was being a grind.
Resources for your land. It will take days to build your basic home. It will take weeks to shape your deed. It will take months to shape the land around you. It will take years to master the game. It will take you decades to master the multiple, vast lands of Wurm. And this review, which might be one of my favourite reviews I've ever read for a game, ever. So, you want to make a bow? Well, get ready, mother, because not only are you going to have to cut down a tree, but then you'll have to turn that tree into a log. From there, it just goes without saying that you'll need to turn that log into some planks and some shafts, so you can make a rope-making tool. But obviously, you'll also need some nails to complete that construction of your rope tool, so find yourself some iron and a way to smelt it, and bang that heated up ore into some nails. With those nails, you can actually finish your rope tool, so you can go and find some hemp plants, grind the hemp into fibre, and use the tools to craft a bowstring. Done? Great. Now you can chop down another tree and make a bow. But wait, now you want to use that bow to shoot a fool? A word of warning, if you try to use that bow on someone without first having crafted a quiver and filled it with arrows, which require you to craft shafts to convert to arrow shafts, as well as heated iron forged into arrowheads, you will simply throw your bow at the creature instead of firing it, like the ignorant simp peasant you actually are. A+ experience so far, would gladly throw my bow at a crocodile.
Wow.
So it's basically extremely convoluted medieval Minecraft, a super slow, community-focused sandbox MMO.
Read this. Does take a solid couple hours to build a house for sure. Unless you have a friend and you could probably do it in an hour.
Made by Notch. There is a definite feeling of love and quality in the systems, but also of intense bloat and excess. So my house. There's a formula on Wurmpedia. The carpentry level needed to craft a house is equal to the amount of walls your house will have plus the amount of floor tiles it will take up. So a 1 square house needs 5 carpentry. Let's aim for that. Oh, small issue. You can leave your saw equipped when you try to chop up a log, but you won't saw it, you'll just hack at it like an axe. I've been grinding plank making for about 45 minutes and I'm still not that much closer to level 5, although I am gaining achievements. Slay any creature. 3.8% of people have this. Thanks, donkey. Finishing the planks means I'm carrying a load of weight, so I need to drop them. When you drop multiple items, a small box will appear and all of the dropped items will get added to it. Now, anyone can loot this box, so sometimes you'll find a nice community supply of logs or planks or iron. There's a real community-focused feel in Wurm, and that's its main target audience. This is Minecraft for people with a lot of free time and a passion for medieval peasantry. You can create a lot here, you'll just need the patience of a saint. Look at these lovely soaring animations. Majestic, aren't they? You know, sometimes They don't even happen, and you're just twiddling your hands until planks happen. Between the tiles on the floor are the tile edges, and according to the community, fences are a good experience booster, so I just start fencing myself in. Now you've got to be very careful not to actually fence yourself onto a square because there's no jump, and the only way to escape is to break the fence. Thankfully, this is indeed much faster than plank making. Okay, so I'm switching tools from hatchet to saw to carving knife, and here's my issue. Nothing happens if you have the wrong tool equipped, meaning there's no consequence for failure. With no consequence for failure, the act of swapping doesn't really avoid anything, so it's not really gameplay, it's just busy work. If a player has multiple items they can equip, and interacting with the world while they're equipped changes the outcome of the interaction, then interacting with the wrong item equipped could be used to give an undesirable outcome, to give a reason for the switch to be needed. Consider this: if you play a game, roll a dice, and get a 6 to win, but the consequence for rolling any other number is just roll again, there's no real fail state. You'll always win eventually, which means every step up to winning is a time sink. It's not gameplay, because the win state is never ever removed. Swapping from your hatchet to your saw to your knife to go from felling to making a plank to carving a handle is a series of bloated steps in the crafting process. It adds more clicks, but not necessarily.
I would disagree here.
Gameplay.
Oh, okay.
Finally, after an age, I hit.
Well, make your disagreements known.
5 carpentry. I find a small plot of land and
failing the construction damages the material. Oh, well, I guess so.
I stick down the plans for my house. Yes, the frame is up, and I've unlocked some more journal steps. Right, let's get some walls.
If you fail too much with too low level, you lose the material.
20 planks per wall, which means hours more wood cutting by activating the hatchet, and then hours more plank making by activating the saw, and finally activating the mallet to add the planks to it. And each plank must be added manually. There's no keep adding until done option. And when you're adding a plank, it'll take between 15 and 30 seconds, and God help you if your stamina runs out, because then adding a plank takes 60 seconds. Wurm Online is a tedious, time-consuming game. It's undeniably deep, but good lord, it is a
tedious, time-consuming game. I can see how you put so much hours into it.
Sink. If you have got less than 3 or 4 hours a day to play for several months at a time, while also reading the wiki in your free time, or a massive group of friends to play with, just don't bother. You'll make no visible progress. If you want a perfect example,
I'm glad they made the tutorial world an actual server, so you're not doing this all by yourself with nobody to help you out.
Of how over-designed this game is with superfluous detail, how hyper-focused Wurm Online is on the absolute minutiae of design to the point of bloat. Look at the top left. There is a speedometer. Accurate to 2 decimal places. Who needs that? No one has ever been playing an MMO and thought, this game would be much better if I knew my exact speed at all times. 30 minutes after the house frame went up, I finally get one wall fully planked. I now just need some more nails, and I've completely forgotten where the awesome hidden mine was, so I just wander around until I find another. And I bump into this trader in the starting city. But I have no silver, so I can't afford anything. God, look at all these colours and textures and lighting and assets and various sizes. It's hard to believe this is one of the major landmarks in MMO sandbox history. It looks like a random collection of assets placed haphazardly.
Speedometer is really helpful for trying to figure out which horse you've read is faster.
Together. It's the harsh edges and the jarring texture and colour palette clashes which make it look so garish. Each one of these things relates to one of the game's 100 skills or character attributes. No one told Wurm Online's developers to stop adding things or to make things look nicer, and this was the result. Oh right, it seems there is a giant public mine in the main city. I guess that's the iron taken care of. I just need some tinder to light the fire, and all these local trees are owned, so I take a quick swim over to a local wood and once again start chopping down trees. I swear, sandbox MMOs are basically full of lumberjacks, because chopping trees seems to be the first and then most frequent thing any player does. While chopping, I get a DM from the player Mode, who asks if I am the real Josh, so I have a short existential crisis wondering if I am the only real Josh, and then we chat about the game. They are a returning player and they can now understand how overwhelming the new experience actually is. So we chat and both agree it's a really deep game with a lot of complex, extremely poorly explained systems, which is a shame because with the right tutorial or adventure line, this would be a great experience. So let's discuss the advantage of an adventure line even in a sandbox. The adventure line is a general guiding concept in storytelling or gaming. It's the invisible line the player is encouraged to follow by multiple game design factors. It may be narrative encouragement, such as an NPC saying, hey, go down that path. It could be a visual cue, such as a single flicker of light at the end of a dark cave encouraging you to walk toward it. It could be an
This game is absolutely massive, you can tell that.
audio cue, a noise getting louder as you get closer. Or it could be avoiding a negative cue. You are being chased by an enemy, go and hide. It could even be a limitation of other choices, which is a lazy but viable way to railroad the player. Essentially, the adventure line is the journey you want the player to take. The
real friends are
the Stanley Parable even has the rare adventure line start mode where you follow a literal yellow line until it finally starts curving up the wall and running away from you, leaving you stranded, parodying the idea of relying on it too heavily. The problem with the sandbox MMOs isn't that they're open and free. That's a strength of the genre. It's the lack of an optional, and that's the key word, optional adventure line. If your open world has an optional adventure line, players who like structure will follow it, and players who dislike structure will ignore it. But both demographics will benefit from it being there. Notice how I've been following the journal, doing what it suggested. That's a basic adventure line, a series of goals to achieve. Even Minecraft, one of the most freeform games ever, has an adventure line, kill the Ender Dragon. That framework, no matter how subtle, is essential for hundreds of thousands of players to latch onto. It's a crutch they can lean on until they feel confident enough to explore by themselves. Wurm Online is actually a really impressive bunch of systems.
That's a good shot. It's beautiful.
Brutally difficult to get into, and this is a shame, because if there were a more involved adventure line to bring players in and support them until they feel the desire to leave and explore by themselves using the skills they've gained, I can see it appealing to a lot more players. And you'd probably have a much higher percentage than 10 who finish your tutorial. A big, brutal fantasy world to exist in was a novelty back in the early 2000s, but now we've got choices. Mortal Online 1 and 2, Darkfall, Life is Feudal, Wurm Online, Albion Online, Second Life, eventually Ashes of Creation. Players who say they want a sandbox MMO actually have a lot of choice, but sandboxes often struggle to get or keep players. Why? There are tens of thousands of players saying they want a game just like Wurm Online, so why aren't they playing? It's not because they lack systems or content, it's often because the in-game framework to help new players understand or access that content is non-existent. Sandbox games spend so much development time cramming stuff in, they forget to put the time or the passion into helping players appreciate what they have crammed in. I finally get a load more logs, but I'm also thirsty, so I take a big old gulp of seawater. There's also the small issue of I can't remember where my house is, but I'm sure I'll find that if I wander around long enough. After chatting to Mode a bit more via PM, I think, you know what, let's shoot my shot. Let's go and be a top 1% achiever. What if we kissed by the town fountain? Oh, I'm just kidding. Unless. But no, I joke. But. So I say, hey, let's kiss. And they're up for this. And they reply, I'm a woman clad in leather and I know my way around a shaft, because they have a 100% craft rate, which I think is one of the only Wurm Online related pickup lines in the world. Truly, I have found a master of the game. So we meet up by the fountain in the main square. It takes me a while to figure out the emote system and I come dangerously close to attacking her, but finally we kiss.
There's also seasons in the game, and certain wild plants are harvestable during only certain times of the in-game year. Oh my god.
And boom, top 1% achievement on Steam. I am now an authority on Wurm Online. Back to building my house. I mean, I'd invite Mode back with me to my lakefront property, but the house has no walls or roof or door, so not exactly a bachelor pad just yet. It's strange because Wurm Online is what so many people keep telling me they want. I get messages every day from people saying, hey Josh, I'm looking for a deep, involved, brutal online world I can forge out a meager
It spent 20 years to develop all these random systems. It's so intense, LMAO. It seems ridiculous, but it's so easy to get sunk into it with the boys.
existence in that
Oh,
lets me
man.
do whatever I want. Okay, here you go. It's here. It's been here since 2006. It's slow, it's deep, it's involved. Honestly, Wurm Online is less of a game and more of an online community planning project. Everyone's working together. Everyone digs a mine, everyone builds a castle, then tribes form and warfare begins. I don't want to gentrify this game with a storyline or dungeons or theme park aspects, despite the fact that I am a theme park fan. I want to leave Wurm as it is, but add a basic supporting framework to encourage new players, to guide them until they are ready to face the world alone. Wurm Online is actually really good.
Oh!
It's so bloody hard to get into, it's losing 90% of its players in the first opening hour. Exploring is slow, gathering is repetitive, and building is both. But there is a charm to it. And finally, after 7 hours, I have a house. It still doesn't have a roof, but I don't care. My path
7
is
hours.
complete. Only 1.8% of Steam players made it this far. I feel
I think the
accomplished.
developers
So
left
what's
a comment
next?
in the video.
I have a look through the skills list. I could always train my yo-yo skill.
Yo,
I'm not even
great
making
skill.
that up. There is a yo-yo skill. But look, in the journal. Ride a cow. Right. This is happening. The wiki tells me I need to activate a rope, which thankfully I've got, find a cow, right-click and lead it for a while, then right-click, jump on it and ride. So I scour the grasslands and I can't find a cow, but I can find an aging donkey, which is kind of like a sad cow. So I lead the donkey and then I try to ride it, and what the hell is this?
Ah!
What is... Who did the animations? You've had since 2006
Oh,
to change this.
20
How?
years.
Why are my arms doing that? Was yesterday shoulders day in the gym? Have I just set in this position? You know what? If anyone
Comment
asks,
section.
tell them this is Elden Ring on really low graphics. Explore for a while, still can't find a cow, but I can find a unicorn. Can't kill it though, because it's on someone's land. And why has the music changed to ambient sigh chill? Yeah, let's just zone out while we ride the aging donkey through the slow forest.
Looks like he's carrying briefcase. 2 briefcases. Oh, his legs are clipping too.
Ride the donkey across the beach and... Right, here's a problem. I know this looks climbable, but remember, there's no jump. So this fence, no matter how close to the ground it looks, is actually impossible to pass over. So around the edge we go. Here's a nice touch. If there's a guard nearby,
I think you should be able to
call
jump
on
in
them
all
to
video
help you
games.
kill wolves, and then you can always just attack the guards after, which is a bad idea because they're dangerous, but I want to see what'll happen when you die. It seems you respawn in the traditional way, crotch first inside a sundial. I mean, we've all been here,
What?
haven't we? Hey, finally a tavern, let's get drunk. But there is no beer. Fantastic. There is a ladder, so we can see how levels work. They work with a very clunky climbing animation, and then you can just stand in midair and not fall down. Brilliant. Oh look, a massive statue of some ancient avatar.
Oh, that's cool.
Can we climb the statue? No, you can't. Because it doesn't have any collision at all. Wurm Online, the ultimate sandbox MMO. Deep, involved, complex, absolutely. But also frustratingly convoluted to get into. No jumping, and no collision on giant statues. And the riding animation looks like, well, this. Wurm Online is deep. There's a lot to love, but my god, it is showing its
Someone
age.
would have
It's
built that
so
statue. It
rough
would have
around
taken a
the
long
edges,
time,
and
too.
It's so bloody
Oh, wow.
difficult to get into. And when you try and quit, it does that annoying cutesy thing of having a silly quit message saying, "Quit now? Are you crazy?" You know what, Wurm Online? Let's make a deal. If you don't want me to quit, then how about you put a little more effort into helping me want to stay? I want other people to play and enjoy Wurm Online. But I also want Wurm Online to put a little bit more time and design effort.
I'm glad they fixed a lot of the complaints that he made, and I found the game only after this video. Oh.
Into helping
I never would have played it. Oh, wow. So this video is important.
those new players actually see what's involved. So to end the review, I would love to give Wurm Online a score out of 10, but I've still got my keyboard activated, and I need to activate my mouse, so just let me switch and then right-click the game and select score, and then reward, and then reward score. Oh, hang on, no, I need to use the keyboard to rename the game first to Wurm Finished, so let me switch back, and oh, I've got the mic activated by accident. Hang on, let me first, okay, you got to create, then
this is great.
Score.
This is meta.
Let me just open the wiki. Oh, right, you need to have written at least 10 pages before you can review the game, or before the review can be combined with the score. So let me just fell another tree for some more logs, and then equip the knife, and then
this is the best ending.
Mush into some paper, and then I've got to switch to the hatchet, and then craft knife. Now I've got the paper. Let me switch to my pen, and then write more. Right click on the paper. Create review of game. Hang on, this is a new process. My pen's empty, so I need to make some ink. Let me just check the wiki on how you make ink.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh my god. That was cool. That was cool. Hold on a second. Let me go to a different version of it so I can... Nope. I said nope. Wurm Online Official. Thank you for the review, Josh. I felt it was very fair and honest. I know many of us on the development team have watched it, and it's already sparking discussion on what we can do better in particular. In particular, I feel we can do a much better job of conveying crafting and other gameplay elements to new players. The points I raised are too numerous to list here, but the adventure line and changing some of the design choices of old ring loud and clear. Keenan, product manager. Wurm Online. Ever dream of single-handedly building your own log cabin in real life? Well, now you can build one on Wurm Online nearly twice as quickly. That's cool. That was cool. Like stream. Thanks, Cheddar. Yo, yo, yo. 6 stars. Yo. Yo, 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 yo. 6 Sharks, what are you still doing up, bro? Yo, yo, dudes. We just watched this awesome Josh Stife haze. The company took it in stride. What's up? We're up late, man. Oh, 6 Shark with a membership. 2 SNS. 2 SNS. I met him playing, what was it? Peak. This is Rocket from Peak. If you watch this video later, what's up? 6 Sharks, you missed it. It was a good one. This is a good review. You might want to check it out. Maybe we'll play this game. It's a deep, deep, complicated game that John has played for 600 hours. Thank you so much for the membership. And I know who that person is. Sometimes I don't know who gets the memberships. It's like, okay, who's that? I don't know how YouTube decides it. But that person I spent 4 or 5 hours playing Peak with about a week ago. Well, we'll definitely go back to RuneScape, but this is also a game worth investigating further. It is Wurm Online. I was just reading some of the funny comments. One of which is, ever dream of single-handedly building your own log cabin in real life? Well, now you can build one in Wurm Online twice as quickly. They listen to you, by the way. Added a crafting window so you don't have to activate and right-click things. Added a repeat action button. Added a bunch of other quality of life stuff. Oh, so this is, when was this video made? Oh, 3 years ago. April 23rd, 2022, too. So, yeah, 3 years ago. Well, 6 Sharks, John. Thank you. John hit us with the 5. I can never put my hand in time. Here we go. the 5 memberships earlier. And 6 Sharks with the 1. Thank you guys so much for joining me real late. It's 2:41. We're going to get some sleep. Thank you, 6 Sharks. I didn't even know you're still up. John, I kept him up a little bit. He recommended this game during my Roblox stream. But thank you guys all for joining me. I really do need to get some sleep. I don't know what's your time. It's 2:41 a.m. my time. So I'm going to get some sleep. But I love and appreciate all of you. Cheddar, 6 Sharks. Good night. See you tomorrow, Samara. John, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for recommending this video. 6 Sharks, I was glad you able to yo-yo your way in here. You can do yo-yo. Speaking of that, you can get yo-yo skill points in this game. You should watch this video later, 6 Sharks, if you have a chance. It was fun. Real fun. All right. Bye, 3000. Know you're here. All the people who are here, thanks for joining me so late. Good night, Koi. And puppeteering, useless. There you go. All right, dude. Night, dude. I gotta get some sleep. Bye. Bye, everybody. You guys are the best. Thanks again, 6 Sharks. Woo! See you tomorrow.